She described how I was hyperfocusing and that I'd been given a power to hyperfocus, and it was supposed to be used as a strength, but I was using it as a negative, that I would see a problem and see nothing else but the problem, and the problem is everything and everything is a problem. And I couldn't shrink that down in my mind to see that the problem's just a small thing over here, and then you've got this great thing here and this great thing there. And like, I knew intellectually that I had things to be grateful for, but I was stuck down this rabbit hole. Hello, I'm Olivia D'Souza. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a content and podcast expert. I support visionary entrepreneurs and leaders passionate about living with purpose. Join me as we explore podcasting, life, business, and authenticity. Subscribe for meaningful conversations with a business buddy who gets what it's like. Welcome to Magnetic Pod. I'm stepping in the next little me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Hello and welcome to Magnetic Pod. New Year reset time. Today it's not so early in the year anymore, is it? No, by the time this goes out, I think it'll be February. But I'm still feeling like it's the beginning of the year, and that's because my kids have just gone to school and I can finally actually focus on my business. In January is this weird time for me where I am trying to be all things, trying to be present for my kids, trying to keep all the balls in the air, making sure that client work is still getting done. But apart from the minimum that needs to happen to make sure things don't fall over and my client's work is done, I can't work on the business. My own stuff gets put on the back burner, like my own content creation, for better or for worse. And so now it feels like it is the beginning of the year. It is for me. I don't know how you feel, but it's the beginning of the work year. It starts now for me, and I feel really positive about that. So with that in mind, that's what I want to share with you. The new year reset time and what I've been finding is feeling good for me, and maybe you'll be able to relate and hopefully get something out of it that you can take for yourself as well. So firstly, the word of the year. The word of the year for me, I have decided on is, drumroll please, is faith. Faith, Faith. Spelling it out because it might be hard to hear properly, because I think it's got a TH, which sometimes sounds like an S in audio, and it's got an F, which also sounds like an S sometimes in audio. So I digress. So I landed on that because I felt like I had a bit of a breakthrough towards the later months of last year. I'd been feeling stuck, to be very honest. I'd been feeling stuck for a little while about my business, and which I feel vulnerable to admit, because I feel like I should say everything is perfect and wonderful all the time. But I felt like stuck at a level like where I couldn't grow. It was my mindset. Like I just felt like I couldn't change my mindset about it. And then I had a breakthrough. Should I share how? You may want to know. I might as well. I'm going to admit it. I feel a little bit vulnerable to admit this too, because not everyone's into this, and I haven't always myself. But I went to a psychic and I had a reading, and not like I've had readings, and sometimes I've been anti them because I'm like, I don't want to give my power away and have someone put their ideas in my head, and it's got to come from within and yada yada. But sometimes I feel like an outside perspective, like I need somebody to tell me, who knows me more than I know myself, and could just help give me a bit of a kick in the bum in the right direction. I just felt really stuck. And she was actually really good. She just said really, really practical things, and she described my personality really well, and she described how I was hyperfocusing and that I'd been given a power and ability to hyperfocus, and it was supposed to be used as a strength, but I was using it as a negative, so that I would see a problem and just hyper-focus on the problem and see nothing else but the problem, and the problem is everything and everything is a problem, and all around all I can see is the problem. And I couldn't kind of shrink that down in my mind to see that the problem's just a small thing over here, and then you've got this great thing here and this great thing there. And like, I knew intellectually that I had things to be grateful for, but I was stuck down this rabbit hole of hyper-focusing on the problem, and somehow listening back, because she allowed it to be recorded, and just sort of listening to it on repeat for a while, I had a breakthrough. And I just felt that there was a real shift. And it's interesting because it was like within a day or two of that I landed a fabulous new client that I'm very excited to work with. And then, I was getting other inquiries, and I thought, that's interesting. Like, is there something in this shift of energy that things, and just dealing with inquiries and things, that I just had a more positive energy about it all. And even I found even spending money and things like that, I was doing it with love and joy, which is, I just thought of something else, which is one of the things I sing about in my song about money, that I used to sometimes reset my mindset about money. I use my own music. Maybe that's another episode. I use my own music sometimes. That's another strategy. But yeah, so that was a breakthrough. But the thing that I also am aware of is the breakthrough is the beginning. Okay, it's not like a breakthrough happens and then there's no more work to do, and we all live happily ever after. Well, maybe we can, but a transformation is when you keep taking actions every day. So, for example, I find losing weight. I don't like talking about losing weight on some one level because it feels superficial, but it's just such a relatable thing to use as an example for other things in life. I remember losing weight when I gained a fair bit of weight as a teenager, and then I remember it was one moment where I had a breakthrough and a shift in perspective, and I knew that I was going to get fit and get healthy and exercise and all of those things. So what I feel like I've had is the breakthrough, that realization and that shift. But then the transformation part, that's doing the work every day. So I'm now in transformation mode. And so anyway, all of that to say is it got me really thinking about, which is something I've always believed in, but it got me really focused on belief and mindset. And so I knew this year that my word of the year, and I don't feel like you necessarily have to have one, but I wanted to, and I felt like I had a strong energy and a positive feeling about having something around belief. But I didn't settle on the word believe or belief, because I thought, well, you can believe in things that aren't true. You can be tricked. You can believe in false news. You can believe but not know. And then the word faith came to me, and I like faith, because faith to me, it's still around belief, it's still around that meaning, but faith to me means unshakable. It means looking past the appearance of things. It feels like it comes from the heart. It feels like it's an internal guidance system. It feels like being connected to intuition, or depending on your view of the world, source, guidance, wisdom, intuition, whatever you want to call it. That's what faith feels like. So it doesn't depend on outer circumstances, and it gives you an inner peace and an inner knowing that despite circumstances and appearances, that everything will be okay. So faith feels like a word that I can very happily get behind, and it's a good North Star for me. So that's my word. Let's see. What else did I want to share? Okay, yes, and the thing about New Year, it feels like it's just another day, right? And maybe in some schools of thought, I certainly think you don't wait for the new year to make a change in your life, a positive change in your life. But for some reason, I think there is something, for me at least, in New Year, like the last few years at least, I have had that feeling of wanting to turn the page and start afresh and have a clean slate. And it feels a positive thing. So I'm not against the idea of New Year. I don't tend to do resolutions, but a New Year review, I guess. Review means looking back, so maybe that's not the best word, but a review of where you're at and where you want to go. So I think it's a valid thing to do at this time of year, and there's a certain feeling and energy I have around it that I like and that I feel is a positive and helpful. And I'm really scared to say this out loud. I'm scared to say it out loud, but I feel I need to. I guess this is a bit of a resolution, but I've just decided it, and I'm not going to overthink it, and I'm going to do it. And I feel very exposed, because if I fail in front of you, and you'll know. Okay. So here's the thing. I've had a big break from the podcast, but I want to be on content creating when I am on in my business, and then be off when I'm not. So, which I've quite liked having a break, but now I'm raring to go and want to kickstart this whole content creation and focusing on my business thing again. So, to get to the point, my thing that I want to do is create a podcast every day, not 7 days a week, but 5 days, every day that I'm not with my kids. So every day, only committing to this first term, and it's only during school days. So, but every day, put a podcast out. So, eek. Oh, shit, I've said it out loud. Okay, so that's my New Year's update. I would love to hear from you. So wherever you listen to this, if you hear it on YouTube, then you can comment. Otherwise, drop me a line. Livy Music Media is my handle, LIVVI at Instagram. Or you can email me at livy@livymusic.com. And I'd love to know where you're at, what you want to do this year, what your New Year's resolutions or word of the year is, or goals are. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Like a snake, I'm shedding my skin to be my wild next level me. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Give you whiplash when you turn around and see me go again. Next level me. It's time to be. Hello, it's Livy here. Have you ever wondered about what the key elements are that make a podcast truly stand out? Or maybe you're thinking about starting your own special podcast and feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start? Well, I have something for you. Introducing the ultimate podcast checklist. Da, 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 da. It's a step-by-step guide that covers everything from the initial brainstorming to advanced growth strategies. It's the perfect companion for both new and seasoned podcasters. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Da, 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 da. To grab your copy, simply head to the show notes of this episode and you will find a direct link there, and then away you go. Remember, every podcast started with that initial spark and the right resource. So let the ultimate podcasting checklist be yours.